I'm doing amazing. I'm really good. And I remember last time you were like calling me, like kind of sending in the request, but I was actually on a session with somebody and I was like, what to do exactly? And today again, I saw you online. And that's a nice look, by the way, compared to like the first time we met. I think, yeah, that's that looks good on you.
I'm inspired within you.
And I'll tell you, you look like an Hollywood actor. It's just that I'm not getting the name or the name of the exact movie, but you look like somebody, and it's good.
Thank you, thank you. Oh, but like for a while, I thought something was weird with you, because from time to time, I look to your profile, it was the photo of a woman.
All right, let's not
Oh,
mention
I
it.
was
I'll tell
wrong.
you. I'll tell you why it is. Why it is. So I have my elder sister, and she wanted to use it, okay, and she was not happy with this 7 minutes of session. So I have Prime, and that is why. So you are the only one who noticed it actually, but I'm glad that you did. And so whenever she used to
What
do
happened to
it,
you, Shiva? Did you change
exactly.
or something?
So whenever she used to use it, she used to keep her profile like changing the name and everything, because if she ends up in going into the host room with my ID, that would be a mess, and probably there are high
Yeah.
chances that my ID will get blocked completely, which I did not wanted to take a chance. So I was like, fine. And whenever she used to get herself redirected to the host room, I immediately used to ask her to cut down the tab altogether and just get yourself directly on a conversation, no host room. So that was the whole thing about.
I see. Nice, nice. And
Absolutely.
yeah, overall, like recently, what's up? Like, is there anything that you learned that you would like to share? Something
Honestly speaking,
interesting?
Leah, I'll tell you from past few days. So I come on episode always with a motive. I mean, if I'm about to go on an episode in today, I'll be like, what interesting we should be talking about, or I should be talking about experiencing myself, giving myself a good experience, and on the same time the other person altogether, right?
Mm-hmm.
So from past few days, like last week, I have been speaking about a lot of ghosts and ghosts and topics about ghosts. I ended up, scaring couple of girls over here, like to an extent. And but now this week, the level of energy, or at least whatever I am feeling more of, like getting myself into debates. Now I'll tell you that the only person that I have ever got myself into kind of a debate or more of a healthy discussion was you, if you remember our last conversation, okay? And
Okay.
with such a good intellect, I have never found any other speaking partners on episode, at least to the level that we share our intellectual knowledge. And I was actually thinking about you. So I mean, let me, if I have to be more clear onto that, it was my manifestation to talk to you, and that is how I ended up speaking to you for this, the another time, like second time. Right now we are here, despite we missing our call, which is something very unfortunate, like me speaking with somebody, and we already missed our call last day, right? I think 2 days back, but still we are speaking. So I hope we are going to speak something really amazing for the next, few minutes. I don't know what, but we'll definitely
Like,
going to speak.
I mean, in my side, I would say one thing that I'm really putting some more thought
Right.
recently. Actually, yesterday, no, 2 days ago, I was like watching a podcast, and it gave
Right.
me a new understanding about freedom, and
About what exactly?
about freedom.
Freedom. Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
Freedom.
especially how freedom is directly related with knowledge. Because
Yes.
the less knowledge someone have, the less free they are. Because they
Point.
don't know
Exactly.
all their options.
Point is that I would completely agree to that. And I think in the daytime itself, I was actually discussing it with somebody. I was speaking with somebody, randomly. And you are actually right. And I'll tell you, this is something that I've been experiencing from past few days. And that is why I'm talking about like ghost, or probably I'm talking about some of the very kind of on topics which are something not I am very I'm very usually talk about, right? I'm always so every person has a different personality altogether that they like to live along with their day-to-day life. So in general, if I talk about my life, or at least people know me in that sense, is more of a serious person, strict person with at least what they respect me, that I have a lot of knowledge and everything. To an extent, I understand intellectual way of life. But what I realized in this last few months, having too much knowledge actually kills the basic happiness of your life. I mean,
Mm,
I have been trying to unlearn whatever I have learned in these past 4 or 5 years of my life. Because these days, what's happening is that I'm not ready to listen to any podcast. My brain is not accepting to listen to any podcast or to watch any kind of documentary movies. To an extent, even not, watching any kind of ghost movies, or let's say love story movies. I used to watch movies so much. I mean, I miss my days when I used to watch Hollywood movies like anything the whole day and enjoying my time with my friends and everything. But these days, what I started feeling like, again, that brain is, functioning and always signaling like this is a waste of time. I mean, why it is a waste of time? We can watch it. So you see how much I'm making it difficult for a basic to live a very basic life, to watch a movie for like 2.5 hours, because the brain is already like, it's a complete full cup, and I'm wanting to unlearn what I've already learned in these past 4 or 5 years. And these days, at least, like I have friends and their cousins, like, the younger brothers. So in my among my
mhm.
friends, their small cousins, younger cousins, they kind of always, be influenced with me, or they like to spend time with me, because there are certain things, or probably I say certain good things, and they always like to listen to it. So these days, whenever they come to me, I always tell them that don't come to me for any kind of, listening a very uh, enlightened stories or anything at all. I'm joking around with them. I'm asking them, "Did you guys are you guys dating somebody? Are you guys?" And they're like pretty shocked to listen these things from me. And I'm like, "Guys, chill. I have stopped, giving all these intellectual speeches and what not. Let's normalize everything." I mean, I would definitely want your point of view in more deeper format, into this.
Oh, I think I understand what you mean. 'Cause like I also had some like struggle with it. It's like to have like chit chatty or small talks, things
Right.
like that. So it was kind of tough for me, especially before I joined episoding. Because in episoding, I learned how to have more of this kind of conversation that sometimes like they they feel like useless, you know.
Yeah.
Uh, But at the same time, they are very good to connect with people.
Exactly. Exactly.
Like there was like what two? I can remember at least 2 or 3 sessions.
Right.
I've talked whole 7 minutes with the person about like a specific food from their country.
Exactly. I'm also doing
Like
that.
just like chilling and teasing them and things like that, just having a playful environment,
Exactly.
and they are
Exactly.
just enjoying. And one thing I've learned, this is also a skill. Because like
Right.
one thing I've learned, there are some people that I meet them like after 1 year.
All right.
They don't remember. They don't remember what I told them,
Right.
but they remember how they felt when they were talking to me.
Exactly. That is what the whole point is. That is what the whole point is. Yeah. Continue. If you
So
have anything to add upon on that.
yeah, so I think this is the point of communication and knowledge. I think knowledge is more about like making the right decisions, but
Right.
sometimes we how can I say, we think some skills are kind of useless because we don't see in a
Any
practical way. But
relevance.
if we dive in deeper into that, even the smallest things that like sometimes
Right.
we don't see a lot of purpose, they have much more impact than we think on the
They do.
people,
They
on
definitely do.
connecting with the people. So yeah, yeah, I think it's a balance, I think the main that's something I learned with communication, with the
Yes.
communication teacher,
Yes.
where he said about the voice archetypes. Like we have different, like he mentioned about four archetypes that we
Right.
should all develop, which is like the educator, the
Right.
motivator, the coach, and the friend. Each
Right.
one of these archetypes, they will express a different feeling towards
Exactly.
who you are talking to. And the thing is not like one is better than the other.
Everything is
It just
interconnected.
the magic of the thing is like like learning how to use each of them and
Exactly.
also having the discernment to know when to use each of them.
Exactly. Very true.
Because this is the thing. For instance, if you're serious and you explain things and things like it's kind of more like in the educator archetype.
Exactly.
It's good, but if you're always like that, people will, like and they people just want to connect to you, have a good time. They will feel you are boring,
They
they
would.
won't like
They would.
enjoy having with you. And at the same time, if you are always friendly, always smiling and being easygoing in a workplace, it's not good. People won't feel that you are a responsible person, someone or a trustworthy person. So it's
Exactly.
all about learning when to use each archetype. So own knowledge and own skills and characteristic is not exactly good or bad, but knowing when to use them in the right moment.
Right.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, this is actually a good point because while I was learning English, okay, so for me, the form of or the definition of good communication is like speaking good English. But later down the line, what I realized, so I was very much focused on learning the American accent. Okay, at that point of time, I was speaking with a lot of native speakers, and I was trying to build up my accent. And kind of, I felt a sort of a detachment, and I was like, even though I'm sounding more, even if like for some reason I end up sounding like a native person. I was seeing a lot of native speakers like speaking really good English, but I was not feeling the kind of I wouldn't say I'm looking any kind of enjoyment or excitement on each and every conversation, but it is the impact that you talked about, right? And that is even what I teach my students. I give English classes that never try to get your English like like they often ask me how to get your vocabularies good or like probably your grammar good, and I tell them like I at least have never went on to getting more vocabularies on my communication, neither more of a grammar. What I actually focused on is more of making a human connection. Doesn't really matter what level of your English is, but it is always the impact. Nobody will remember what we actually talked about or what was how was your English, how communication was. It is always the feeling how did you make that person felt when the person was with you for like whichever the amount of time or the duration. It is always the feeling that stays with you, that okay, this was some or the other feeling, even that feeling like fades away what was the exact feeling, but the soul remembers the feeling that you give. It's the whole point. It's the senses that gives the that witnesses the feeling that you get out of speaking that person. And I think that that is what all matters. And today, in today's time, this is what we are lacking behind in a human, on a conversation between a human to human, even though we are making it too technical point of view to explain things, but it's very simple. uh, it's just like live and let live people enjoy. I mean, you enjoy and we make others enjoy. It's, in a simple form, is what we are missing in these days, the very basic connection on a human level.
Mm, yeah. Yeah, definitely, definitely.
I
It's
mean,
about you
if I tell
feeling
you,
first, right?
sorry to stop you, if I tell you like Leo, I love you, and I love you, I don't know why I love you. No, I love you more of my as a friend, or like my brother, or whatnot. If I tell you, like if I tell somebody as a guy to, like as a bro to bro, like could you please tell me I love you, these days people will bring logic onto it. Yeah, I mean,
Hmm.
they just cannot be very informal. Do you see my point? I mean, they will bring logic, they will bring practicality. Why should I say I love you? But it's just that sometimes it is just you be yourself, you
Hmm.
see. That's the whole point. So that makes more sense, like doing unusual things.
Hmm. Well, I'm in this sense, like I mean, I don't understand exactly what you mean, more or less, I think. But like sometimes I'm because I'm a serious person, right? So
I'll tell you. So what
especially,
I'm actually trying to tell you is that
yeah.
we should not give meaning to everything. Some things has to be very meaningless. Very meaningless. This is how life is. Very meaningless.
I think I go with the meaning though. Even though it's meaningless, it still have like apparently it's meaningless. It still have a meaning.
That's getting
I
too
see in the
that's getting too philosophical. But anyways, I'll let you continue with it.
yeah, yeah. I would say it's like that. Yeah, basically how I see things. Like, sometimes things you like looks like meaningless because we don't understand it fully,
Right.
and sometimes it's okay we don't understand. Like we don't need to understand every aspect of life and things like that, but we can see how that impacts our life. It's if it is positive or not. Then we decide if we can keep
Sometimes I
doing that
it
or
makes
not.
me afraid that I would die single, man. Getting too much of intellect is actually kills a good love life, I'll tell you. So
Wow, this is a good point. This is a good
these are
point.
absolute good
That's
points. I mean, I just don't want to comment on the girl community, entire girl community, right? But I mean, you being so much of intellect will actually you will actually kill up your love life. So it's just that go crazy with life. Just don't look after life. Don't try to find meaning so much into life. Just live a very normal life is
but
what
I
I'm
think
trying to normalize.
for me that's the exciting thing about life, to that everything has a meaning. But when it comes to girls, there are things also that to make that work. Even if you're like have more intellect with the girl, still you can if you learn the basic things. Like for instance, girls love poetry, right? And poetry
We
is
should move
nothing
out of this
more.
girls topic. Much beyond than I think we should rather stick to having we can talk about Jesus, we can talk about Lucifer, we can talk about heaven, we can talk about hell, we can talk about Donald Trump, we can talk about Prime Minister of our India, but let's not talk about girls.
Why? Well, do you have a strong opinions about it?
I mean, you know it, I know it. Let's be, let it keep it to ourselves. I mean, we
What?
for me, I don't find it very meaningful to talk about, using our brain to talk about girls.
Uh,
It's meaningless.
not like so far for what
Oh
like
my
I
god.
think it's not so. I don't. Well, what do you think is the most challenging thing about girls?
Mm, I'll tell you, it's not about girls. It's actually about the generation altogether. And
Mm,
with generation, so it's a deep thing that it's not the problem with the girls, but it's about the generation that we are going through, with the time that we are going through. it the way the previous time or the 90s used to affect the guys, okay, this is a time where the girls have given a lot of opportunity, a lot of things to explore, okay. So
mm-hmm.
obviously we are going through with that initial phase of women, or like exploring, like girls exploring life on different aspects of life. Earlier it was simple, like in India, if I talk about my mom, or like any traditional Indian women, like till their 15, even there used to be like child marriage and all kind of things. So half of their life living with their parents and then getting married to a guy and living a very normal, like homemaker kind of a life, not questioning anything about life, not questioning anything about freedom, nothing at all. It was very simple, straightforward. But today women are like equally important, or given the equal importance as men's. So if you see, the men's have been men's, or like the entire male community had been given the level of freedom from over like 100 years, right? They have been exploring things, they have got all the knowledges, and now the generational of men was what I found out, or at least the people like me, we have settled down on things, onto a lot of things. Okay. There's a lot of information about men exploring a lot of things, or discovering a lot of things. It is the generation or the era of women. where they are exploring things. So obviously, we as men have to be prepared for the good and for the bad. Do you understand the depth of what I'm trying to say? Now, if I tell you,
What's good and what bad?
women's having multiple affairs, we need to normalize that thing. I mean, this is the biggest problem that we are facing now. That's a bold statement
Women
that I'm
having
making.
multiple affairs.
This is a bold statement because I'll tell you. I mean, in today's time, let's speak very honestly. What's the biggest problem that we are going through with boys and girls, or at least with the adults? It's the trust in a relationship. I think that's the global problem that we are facing right now.
Hmm.
But
Yeah, yeah. Makes sense.
I mean, I see often, in our Indian media, all these kinds of news, women having multiple affairs with this, with that. These days, this is what is happening in India. I'm not talking about any other country. I don't want to,
Mhm.
comment on that. But did in the past, like in the entire human civilized existence, men did not do any sort of things like that. Let's talk about us. Did we were like we were like that obedient and innocent, right? And why the headline is always woman having an affair with this particular person? I mean, we need to normalize these things. I'm not saying having multiple affairs is a good thing, trust me, but it is a journey of explorations, and we'll have to have that. I mean, I don't know what's the point I'm trying to make. It's just that it's a very deep conversation, and we are getting nowhere because we only have like few minutes left. But you need to understand that it is a time of exploration of this particular species, like girls that we are talking about. Okay, so we will have to go through with these things, and we need to normalize it. We are making a whole wrong perceptions, and what is happening is nothing is happening. We are losing trust on each other. So the media has to normalize these certain things, and they need to show good things. So what I do, I'll tell you, to have a successful relationship, like forget about all the discussion that we are having.
Hmm.
So I follow an Instagram page where this guy from Delhi, like from our capital, he goes to the certain very active place where there are a lot of couples walking around, and he randomly, interviews couple within a minute, like asking few random questions about their life and things, and then he clicks good pictures of it and then he posts it. So he is trying to make a positive impact where then this whole world, or especially the Western community, I'll talk about. I see a lot of Instagram reels. These Western communities are creating podcast and giving their best to show how the Western culture is, and just they are just killing the trust between each other. And with the Western content, the Indian media or the Indian youths are getting influenced a lot these days, and nobody's talking about it. But where is this guy? He's trying to make a positive impact with those videos. So what I do is, I'll tell you personally, every day, out of that Instagram page, I take out one video which I send it to my girlfriend, and we are in a constant, because we are on a long distance, so we are on a constant, because social media is impacting everything in today's like relationships. Let's be very fact, that's the fact.
Hmm.
So I send her this one video every day. We watch it, and then we do a small discussion to it, and that's happy. We are always in a constant belief that okay, love is possible in today's time, because every day I'm seeing some, or in my friend, some or the other, person is having a bad breakup, or going through with a relationship crisis. On her around as well, in the friend circle, things are happening. So we need to keep ourselves positive, and I think the media has to keep doing that to an extent,
Hmm.
because social media is a playing a big impact on a relationship these days, right, into the adult life. So these are the things that I actually wanted to mention. I think I did made a valid point by the end
I
of our
see, I
conversation.
see, I see, I see. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I
Do
was
you mean
given
like
more chance to extend our
it,
conversation. How long have we been speaking?
it's I see what you mean. It's basically like how our environment impacts so much. Not only the environment, the perception of the environment. And
Yes,
then when
yes,
like it's like yeah, in Western societies like that, like it shows up like actually, as a matter of fact, there was an Indian guy I met, and he was
right.
saying that it's horrible the relationship in India because he saw so many news about women killing their husbands
Yeah,
and things like that.
I'll tell
That
you.
he said, no, I never marry someone in here. Like things are like it's
I'll
bad.
tell you. I'll tell you
Relationship is hopeless about it.
about myself. I actually had two bad relationships in the past. and I'm not going to talk about much I'm not going to go too depth about it. Now me going through with two bad relationships, like really like worst relationships that I've ever had, where I have given my 100% onto it, right? And then me seeing these news, uh, all these dramas that I'm seeing in the Indian news, Indian media. What do you think I should be as a guy, thinking about myself? But I mean, at the end of the day, we are humans. We have our natural needs and everything. So, what do you think ourselves? If I'm not believing in love as a guy, what will I become as a person? We should not talk about it. What if you and me, for an example, let's take it, right? If we stop believing in love, what you and me are gonna be as a person? We are gonna be turned into
Hmm.
that F boy term. You see, that we talk about, right? And I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, or probably you'll become a saint,
Just,
or probably you'll become a
yeah.
saint.
Yeah. Or you, yeah, one
That's
of
how it's
both.
gonna end. Okay, so
Are you gonna start using women or just forget about
yes,
them?
for you're gonna completely forget about them. I did not have any of the options. I mean, I tried seeing where am I going, or where my energies are taking myself. I tried myself, being that F boy. My heart did not give that calling. You know, I just never did.
Yeah,
And
it's
if
not
I talk
good.
about being a spiritual enlightened saint, I mean, what's the point if me being a spiritual enlightened saint where I got ditched by girls, and then me became a spiritual enlightenment girls, and then I'm spreading my knowledge that stay out of girls, meditate, do vipassana, and all these kind of things. Rubbish. So the whole point is that it's okay. Bad experiences happen, but you should never give up. I mean, I'm not saying that go out there and try to find another love for yourself, the third love of your life. But all I say is that do not give up on love, right? And you
Yeah.
will find the right person. Like I found it, everybody would find it. Just don't desperately look for them. When there is the right time, the person will eventually, enter in your life. But you need to have a trust, because that is how things works. So,
Yeah. I, I, I would say there's a very interesting thing that the way I see relationship overall. In
right,
some sense, it's similar to a principle I've learned with financial education.
right,
Because there is a principle that says like that. The less you know about some field or type of investment, the
right,
riskier it'll be. The more knowledge you have about it, the
right.
more successful you'll be into that. And it's exactly the same thing with long-term relationship.
And that is
Like
what
not,
exactly I'll tell you. That is what the whole point is. Like me, failing into my last two relationships actually gave me the kind of an experience. And I mean, God forbid, I'll tell you, I'm actually having a very good life, right? I'm actually able to sustain it because of my. I've learned it from my failures. Okay, I'm not being vulnerable about it. I'm not being miserable about it. I mean, you fail in your career, you restart it. Then why can't we apply that same concept in love? It's simple, man. It's
yeah,
simple. It's that simple.
yeah, yeah. It's
Okay.
similar. Like, and I would say like I had like more or less two kind of not that long relationships, and I've learned some things about it. But a lot of it we can also learn by just studying, you know, like by learning by the experience of others
Same
and
here.
pay attention to people around of us. And like I also, if I was paying attention to how horrible could happen, like how terrible things could happen
Yeah.
if I married the wrong person and things like that, I wouldn't also be interested in
And by
engaging
the
in
way,
such
let me
kind of
ask a question. Are
relationship.
you married or something, Leah?
No, 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 no. Yeah, yeah, I'm very picky. So like yeah. I'm very
Are you
picky.
planning to
So
get
it's
yourself
hard for
married?
me to find someone.
Are you planning to get yourself married?
Well, yeah, I just need to find the right person.
All right. All right.
Yeah.
And when is your
So
birthday?
this is the thing. It's worth it. Definitely, definitely. Like there's a principle that I've learned that really opened up my eyes regarding this. Is like any kind of relationship actually. If you are better alone than in the relationship, you shouldn't be in that relationship
Yeah,
because
that's
it's
very
toxic.
true. That's very
Yeah.
true.
But if you are better with that person, it's a good sign. It's a green flag,
The
you know.
whole point is what I'm trying to make. I mean, so there's this, I'll tell you, I was speaking with this one girl, and we spoke for like good amount of time. And then at the very end of the conversations, she shared something very personal. So what she said is that there was this guy, whatever the XYZ experience happened, by the end of that experience, this guy told her that because of girls like you, boys turns up into that F boy term that I talked about, and which is something this girl felt very hurt, like it hurted her to her personality. It has questioned her to her existence and everything because it's not a good term to say.
Hmm.
So I mean, I didn't know what to respond into that, very honestly, at very on my first instance, but I actually gave it a thought. And what I understood is, I mean, why are you even calling yourself a man? Man's, or the definition of men's, are like brave, having good control over your emotions, having good control over your muscles, everything, right? Like men's are brave is what a very simple definition. I'll keep it without making it too technical,
Direct.
right? So if your energy is that low, where if anything that a girls do XYZ in your life, and you will turn like completely miserable and vulnerable and give yourself that victim card, and then you will do, and then you'll do other things in the world, and you will blame that particular girl for the reason of whatever you are being in your life. I mean, keep your energy that high. At least what I feel, or I live with the perception in my life that keep your energy that high, where you are, I mean, you have that courage even to make a gold digger, a better person. Your energy is that high. Your energy is that honest, right?
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
Live
Yeah,
up with that
I really
perception.
the like this is like the energy, especially in relationship, like the energy one of them have. Usually the men have like more
Right?
control over that. Define like the
You
energy
are
of
my
the
buddy.
woman.
That is why I'm getting requests to actually extend the conversation again and again. I didn't
Yeah,
realize.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah,
let's have it.
yeah,
Let's have it.
yeah, yeah.
We can
That's
have it.
why.
Great, man. Great. You
Yeah,
see?
yeah. So, but like it's I'm gonna say like there's two principles also that I've learned, and everyone who wants to have like a good relationship with their woman should know. Like first, they're different. Like men and women are different. Even though like the
Yeah.
current society say, oh, we are all equal, things like that.
Yeah.
Of course, as humans, we are equal,
The
but we have
energies,
differences in the gender,
in the
in the
energy, there
gender,
are difference.
and how we see things also are different. Like a man and a woman can see the same thing and have different perceptions.
Perceptions. Exactly.
They have different perceptions. And a woman, yeah, as you are in a relationship, you can even try it out and test it out. What makes a woman happy is feeling loved. The more
Respect.
you can make your girl, first is love though, even more than respect.
I'll tell you. Yes, yes, that's very true. I understand what you mean
Not,
it,
not not that respect is not important.
but
It's
I
very important,
understand.
but love for women is more important, you know? And for men, it's the opposite. Respect is more important than love, you know? And if both have a thing of that,
Mm.
everything flows much better. Because if your girl is mad, it's very likely she's not feeling loved.
All right. I'll tell you. I have a question for you. This is a question more on a friend level. What do you think? I'm a good lover.
Good
Am I
lover?
a,
I
am I
don't
a good
know.
lover?
I don't know, but
Or
usually
you,
people,
or let's
men
okay,
who are more good,
okay, forget about it. Are you a good lover?
No, I'm working on that.
Come on, that doesn't make any sense. I mean, you need to be confident
Yeah,
enough. I
no, yeah.
mean,
I mean, I'm confident that I know what I need to do to make a girl, if I have, happy and
right,
feel loved, you know. But I still know that I still have to learn a lot of things about it because like one of like my first long-term relationship I had
right,
was also like it lasts about 8 months.
right.
It was the period of my life where I most heard that how I was insensitive. And because I'm very logical and direct, so I usually
Right,
never thought about how to put the things I believe and I'm
right,
honest, right? In a good way, in a loving way. Because this is like it's not about only saying what's right and
right.
being honest, but you need to do that in a loving way. So the girl feels loved and she feels that you care about her.
Damn, man,
This is
that's
the challenge.
this is an absolute challenge. This is an absolute challenge. Anyways, I think we have talked a lot about girls today, and I think we should discuss about dinosaurs right now.
Dinosaur. Oh, of course, of course. Perhaps they live in the Africa's Congo forest.
Yeah, man. I'll tell you. I might just let me just give a break, and let me also have a bottle of water, a sip of water, I would say. You have been the one good thing is you have been dehydrated. Like you have been keeping yourself hydrated in the entire conversation. You see, that's a good
Yeah,
presence of
yeah,
mind.
yeah. I need to actually I need to buy more water. But yeah,
Hell of a conversation, Leo. Seriously.
yeah, that's fine, fine. Yeah, it's good to talk
Not
about
very
this.
often, not very often, even in fact, me, and especially with a foreigner, like a person from a different country, and not very often I get to speak with, these many things, like more on a bro level. And I think I'm glad that we spoke. Yeah, what else can we
Yeah,
discuss?